Hey everybody, Judy the YouTube Lawyer here today. Thank you guys for joining in today's live stream. So today's live stream is going to focus on a child support and paternity lawsuit that someone filed against Charlie Adelson back in March of 2019. It already settled last year, but I thought it might be interesting, especially given all the legal issues that Charlie Adelson has been entangled with. Most notably, as most of you guys already know, he is currently in jail, suspected of being the mastermind of the murder for hire plot to kill law professor Dan Markel. So, interestingly enough, I've been reading this book that Dan Markel authored with two other law professors, Jennifer Collins and Ethan Lieb. And there is a little section here about child support. This book is about criminal justice and the challenge of family ties. So I'd like to read very briefly a few sentences here that I think are applicable to today's live stream about child support. It says, non-payment of child support. As we described in Chapter 4, criminal sanctions have been adopted across the country to ensure that parents do not flout their obligations to provide material support for the well-being of their children. This development has occurred, no doubt, for a few reasons. First, it is politically attractive for elected officials to stand against parents who neglect their children. Second, and more importantly, the non-payment of child support is a serious problem in our society. It obviously harms children who rely on support payments for subsistence. Moreover, it harms the single parents left to struggle alone for the care of their children. And because more single-parent households are headed by mothers, it leaves women to bear most of the brunt of parenthood and its unique challenges. It also harms society at large in that taxpayers may be forced to shoulder the burden of financially supporting those children who end up on the welfare rolls as a consequence of the non-payment of child support. So anyway, just thought I would quote a few sentences from this book, which I highly recommend. I'm still in the midst of reading this book, written in part by Dan Markel, along with two other law professors. So just in the interest of respect to the so-called baby mama, it seems like a lot of people already know her name and some more information about the name of the child and stuff, but I think that I will try to keep that confidential and not flash up all the documents on the screen. If there are documents that don't give her full name or the name of the child or her address or whatever, then I will put that up on the screen. So thank you guys for being here. Looks like we have our regular crew here already. So thanks for being there. So I'll go ahead and start reading because obviously the first page has her full name and some identifying information out there. And also thank you so much to the subscriber who emailed me this document, so I didn't actually have to go through the hassle of trying to request it from the clerk's office. Okay, so we'll just call her Brianna, her first name. Okay, Brianna versus Charles Adelman, respondent/father, verified petition to determine paternity, child support, and for related relief. Comes now the petitioner, herein after referred to as Mother Brianna, by and through her undersigned attorney, and files this her petition to determine paternity, child support, and for related relief as follows. This is an action to establish paternity and for related relief. Jurisdiction: the mother has been a resident of the state of Florida for more than 6 months before the filing of this petition. Paternity facts: the mother and respondent engaged in sexual intercourse during the time period between January 2017 to November 2018. The parties have resided together with the minor child. As a result of this sexual intercourse, petitioner became pregnant and delivered the following child, to wit, R.A., born December 2017. The natural mother of the minor child is the petitioner, and the natural father of the child is the respondent. So then they state the child's present address in Florida and says that the minor child has resided at said address since November 2018. Prior to November 2018, the minor child resided with the mother and father at, and then they list Charlie's old address, which has already been released all over the place at Quail Harbor Lane, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The minor child was born out of wedlock. The mother has not participated as a party, witness, or in any other capacity in any other litigation concerning the custody of the minor child in this or any other state, and the mother has no information of any custody proceeding concerning the minor child pending in a court of this or any other state. The mother knows of no person not a party to the proceedings who has physical custody of the minor child or claims to have custody or visitation rights with respect to the minor child. Okay, so I'm skipping over a little bit. Okay, the petitioner or counter-petitioner alleges that it is in the best interest of the minor child that the mother have sole parental responsibility. If the court should order parental responsibility be shared by the parties, the mother requests the ultimate decision-making authority rest with her because the respondent/father does not play a reliably consistent role in the minor child's life and has a history of disappearing for weeks at a time. The mother must have the ability to make important decisions regarding the minor child without having to locate the petitioner and wait days or even weeks for a response. Additionally, the petitioner has not shown no real interest in parenting the minor child during the minor child's lifetime. Okay, so that's sad to hear. Minor child currently resides with the mother and has lived with the mother since birth. Mother alleges it's in the best interest of the minor child to continue to reside the majority of the time with the mother. The mother has been the sole caregiver of the minor child since birth. Okay, so this is a page that doesn't have any identifying info, so I'll go ahead and flash that up there. Yeah, this is kind of sad to read. It says, number 12, the father frequently will go weeks without seeing or checking on the child and has been unable, unwilling, or not interested in exercising overnight time sharing without the full-time assistance of the mother or third parties. Okay. Number 13, the mother requests a time-sharing schedule which contemplates the father's limited role and limited interest in the child. Number 14, child support. The father should be ordered to pay child support pursuant to the provisions of Section 61.30. 15, health insurance. Okay, this is also kind of sad to read. The minor child is currently without health insurance. The mother requests the father to obtain and maintain health insurance for the minor child. Okay, so number 16, attorney's fees. The mother has retained Joshua Bickman and Bickman Law PLLC to represent her interests in these proceedings and has obligated herself to pay reasonable attorney's fees, suit monies, and costs. The father is in a superior financial position to the mother. The father has the ability to pay for the mother's attorney's fees and costs. The mother requests an award of attorney's fees and costs. In the event the petitioner engages in unnecessary and bad faith litigation, the mother seeks an award of additional attorney's fees and costs pursuant to Florida Statute 61, Florida Statute 57, and Rosen v. Rosen as a result of the petitioner's actions and allegations as set forth in this petition. Okay, so I think I need to take that off. I went through this before and wrote down all the pages that I am going to be able to show and the ones that have her full name and other identifying info. Okay, so then she's requesting that the court enter its order and judgment as follows. A, the court take jurisdiction of the parties and the subject matter thereof. B, the court enter judgment establishing paternity of the minor child. C, the court award the mother sole parental responsibility of the minor child. Or in the alternative, the mother having ultimate decision-making authority in all matters related to the minor child. D, the court ordered the petitioner to pay child support, health insurance, and daycare costs. E, the court award the mother attorney's fees and costs related to this action. F, the court award to mother such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper in the best interest of the minor child. Okay, so let's see. All right, so this whole document is about 33, 34 pages long, so some of it is just like certificates of service and verification signed by the baby mama. Okay, so she also filed the mother's verified emergency motion for temporary child support health insurance for the minor child, forensic accountant fees, and temporary attorney's fees and costs. Okay, so some of the more interesting statements. Okay, she says, child support. The mother has limited means of supporting herself and the minor child. The mother has moved out of the home in which the parties and child previously cohabitated, and the father has repeatedly threatened to cut off financial support to the minor child. The father lives a comfortable lifestyle, yet the father refuses to obtain health insurance for the minor child. The mother hereby requests an order directing the father to obtain health insurance immediately for the minor child. For the aforementioned reasons, the mother is requesting a hearing on this issue on an emergency and expedited basis. The father is a very successful periodontist who owns his own large statewide practice and has the ability to pay child support. Additionally, the father has significant real estate holdings and rental properties which generate substantial incomes on a regular basis. Okay, so just picking some more interesting sentences. It says, furthermore, the father is in a superior financial position, and the father is well able to pay the mother's attorney's fees, suit monies, and costs. Okay, forensic accountant's fees and costs. The father is the owner of a highly successful statewide periodontist practice. Okay, so I guess this part I can go ahead and show. Okay. Additionally, the father has significant real estate holdings and rental properties which generate substantial incomes on a regular basis. The father's holdings are vast and complicated and require the services of a forensic accountant to determine the father's actual income for accurate child support calculations. The mother is in need of and hereby requests forensic accountant fees to be paid by the father, who is well able to pay the same. Okay, so that sounds about right, given what we've heard about Charlie from plenty of other sources, as well as his own deposition, the lawsuit to try to get disability benefits, things that other witnesses said about him constantly being paid in cash and having lots and lots of cash in his safe and in his home. Yeah, so I'm wondering if this poor lady actually did have to pay a lot of money to hire a forensic accountant, because this case dragged on for almost 2 years before they finally settled. Okay, so she's saying she can't afford to pay for the forensic accountant fees based on her limited income. So she was asking for temporary child support, health insurance for the child, temporary attorney's fees and costs, and the forensic accountant fees to be paid to the mother by the father. All right, so then there's another verification and certificate of service. Then there's another filing called a mother's motion for temporary relief. Okay, so it says in part, it says on May 9th, 2020, the court entered an agreed order ratifying paternity, which established the paternity of the father and provided that the issues of parental responsibility, decision-making authority, time-sharing, child support, health insurance, and attorney's fees remain pending and unresolved. The minor child currently resides full-time with the mother and has never had overnight time sharing solely with the father. The father has been unwilling and or unable to coordinate and or comply with a routine time sharing schedule during the pendency of this matter, and he has recently expressed a desire to visit with the minor child for only limited time periods. As alleged in the petition, the father has a pattern of disappearing for weeks at a time, which has continued during the pendency of this matter, occurring as recently as within the past month. It is in the best interest of the minor child for the court to enter a temporary parenting plan awarding to the mother majority time sharing and sole parental responsibility for the minor child, awarding limited time sharing to the father, and requiring the father to comply with the established temporary parenting plan during the pendency of this matter. Okay, so says also she has a need for the father to carry a life insurance policy to protect his obligations to relating to the minor child, and the father has the ability to provide the same. Okay, that sounds like a good idea. And she's saying she's unemployed. She's in need of assistance from the father in paying for her attorney's fees, and he can afford that. Okay, so that was another filing that was done September 3rd, 2020. Okay, yeah, that's kind of strange that he would just like disappear and not even let her know where he went for several weeks. Very bizarre behavior. Okay, so again, I think that's sort of relevant in terms of him trying to seek his pretrial release in the criminal case. Okay, so then they have a financial affidavit. Okay, and this part without her name being shown is her family law financial affidavit short form for someone with under $50,000 individual gross annual income. Okay, so this looks like one of those required court forms in family court. Let me get something to drink. I do have this throat soothing cough special tea that someone recommended to me. Okay, so here we go. This is what Bree filled out. It says she's unemployed, and it says explain on a separate sheet your efforts to find employment. Okay, so you just, I mean, I feel sorry for her. This must be so hard for her when the child was just maybe a couple of years old when she filled out this application and still had no job. And remember, before she was a paid nanny to take care of Wendy's ex-boyfriend's kids. And then that's how she met Charlie. Okay, so $0 for present monthly gross income. Okay, she's putting in her monthly expenses, the monthly, I'm assuming she was renting, well, that's $19.26 a month, and then it lists utilities, telephone, food, meals, gas, car repairs, car insurance, clothing, gifts, grooming, entertainment, gifts, her Volkswagen lease, $377 a month. Okay, so total monthly expenses, she said, were $4,218 a month. And since she has zero net income, her deficit is the same, $4,218 a month. And this is also kind of sad to see, but her only assets were some cash of in banks or credit unions of $2,005.94. Okay, so she's saying she also has a auto loan or a lease on the Volkswagen, and she owes $9,465.39 on that. Okay, no other assets or liabilities. Okay, so I think I need to stop sharing because of all the info on the other pages. Okay, so thank you all for tuning in. It always surprises me to see how many people are interested in this stuff, but I'm glad to bring more information for people who are interested. Okay, so then there's just some more forms that are signed by her and her attorney. Okay, and here's her attachment regarding employment, which I can't show because it has the full name of the child on it. It says, I worked as a nanny until January 2017. During the time I was pregnant until now, I have not worked as I have been caring for blank, the child. In July 2019, at age 2.5 years old, blank began his phase-in process into Montessori school. That lasted for about 2 to 3 months. Blank then started going to school half days from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That lasted until December 2019 when he officially started going full-time. Unfortunately, the school then closed due to COVID-19 until mid-August when I was told that blank was unable to return. Before COVID-19, I started an online paralegal course and plan to move forward with that. As soon as life goes back to normal a little bit, I plan to reach out to some contacts about paralegal work and have the green light for when blank is back to school full-time. However, blank has been out of school essentially since mid-March because of COVID-19, and I have had him full-time since. I have had one job offer from a friend, but that was a full-time position in Miami. The transportation and the schedule is something I have not been able to do while caring for blank. Okay, so yeah, just sounds like a real big struggle, especially when the rich baby daddy has run off and apparently was not providing her with financial support. Okay, so next we have Charlie's financial affidavit, which I feel like is okay to show up here because, once again, this is all public record from the court file. And here he said he is 43 years old. He's a periodontist. He's employed by Charles J. Adelson, DMDPA. He gave his old address back on Whale Harbor Lane or Lake in Fort Lauderdale. He said his monthly gross income was $10,734 a month. Okay, so let me flash that up on the screen. Okay, so I think the next 9 or so pages are okay to show here. Okay, so it looks like it's all his own handwriting. Last year, 2018 gross income, he said, was $255,499 AGI. Okay, monthly gross salary, $10,734. Monthly business income from sources such as self-employment, partnerships, closed corporations, and or independent contracts. He put $4,055. Monthly interest and dividends, $4. Monthly rental income, $3,983. Total present monthly gross income, $18,776. Present monthly deductions. So he puts in there his monthly federal, state, and local income tax is $5,193. He says his filing status is head of household. He claims one dependent. Then he has his monthly FICA or self-employment taxes of $1,036. Monthly Medicare payments of $145. Monthly health insurance payments, including dental insurance, excluding portion paid for any minor children of this relationship. He put $498. Total deductions allowable under the statute is $6,872. So his present net monthly income is, here he says it is $11,904. Okay. Then he put in his monthly expenses, so it looks like he didn't owe any money on his home, so there's nothing here for the monthly mortgage or rent payments. Monthly property taxes, $500. Monthly insurance on the residence, $200. Monthly electricity, $500. Monthly water, garbage, sewer, $130. Monthly telephone, $100. Repairs and maintenance for his car, $500. Lawn care, $150. Pool maintenance, $100. Pest control, $40. Miscellaneous household expense, $200. Food and home supplies, $1,200. Meals outside the home, $1,200. Cable TV, $150. Subtotal was $4,970 in expenses for those things. Okay, then for his car or cars, he put in $500 a month for gas and oil, $200 a month for repairs, insurance $300, tolls and parking $200. Subtotal is $1,200 for the automobile costs. Okay, and then it says monthly expenses for children common to both parties, $1,500 a month. Well, that's interesting because why would he be paying for childcare if the child was never with him? Okay, school supplies, books, and fees. Okay, so he put down $200. The child's health insurance, $500, subtotal $2,200. Okay, no other expenses for any kids from other relationships. As far as we know, that's his only child. Okay, so other expenses, he put in $300 a month for clothing, $50 a month for medical dental prescription, unreimbursed, $100 a month for non-prescription medications, cosmetics, toiletries, and sundries, grooming, $200 a month, gifts, $100, pet expenses, wow, $400 a month. I think he said at his deposition last December that his dog had died. Entertainment, $800 a month, vacations, $500 a month, monthly bank charges and credit card fees, $200 a month. That seems excessive. So subtotal here, he put for that section, $2,650. Okay, total monthly expenses, $11,020. Summary. He claims his total present monthly net income was $11,904. Total monthly expenses, $11,020. And the surplus would be $884. Okay. I don't know if I really believe that, but okay. So here he had to put his assets. It said cash on hand or sorry, he put nothing for cash on hand. Okay, so cash in banks or credit unions, he said checking 40,000, Wells Fargo 100,000, stocks or bonds, he wrote in Charles Schwab 100,000. Okay, real estate, he listed 6125 Southwest 40th Court, Miramar, 140,000. 1801 Southwest 11th Court, something like I-10 Fort Lauderdale, or 1 to 10, I'm not sure. He said that's worth 900,000. And then 731 Northwest 56th Street, Miami, he said it was worth 800,000. He has an asterisk here. It says 519 Southwest 27th Avenue, Fort Lauderdale, 800,000. 7737 North University Drive, Tamarack, 300,000. He says his business interests are 100% interest in Charles Adelson DMDPA with zero value. Automobiles. Okay, so he put one car, Mercedes 2015 S600, $40,000. Okay, no boats, no other vehicles. Retirement plans. He wrote in Charles Schwab, 120,000. Okay, so the asterisk in that property meant he only had a 50% interest in that Fort Lauderdale property that was listed. Okay, so he said he has Charles Schwab retirement, 120,000. That seems kind of low to me for someone that had been making so much money in the past, but okay. Furniture and furnishings in the home, $5,000. Okay, that's nothing for jewelry, nothing for life insurance, sporting and entertainment, for example, TV, stereo, etc. Equipment, he put in $500. Other assets, put in nothing. So he says here his total assets are $3,300,000. I think that's a 4. $3,345,500. Okay, then under liabilities / debts, he put in mortgages on real estate, first mortgage on home, but he didn't put in any actual figures. Second mortgage on home, other mortgages. Okay, well, that's interesting because that wasn't listed as an expense earlier. And then he wrote charge / credit card accounts, auto loan, bank / credit union loans. Okay, so he clearly did not fill this out completely because he didn't give any last 4 digits of the account numbers, and he did not provide any actual figures for the current amount owed. Bank / credit union loans, money you owe. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so these were actually things that are already pre-typed into the form. Okay, so that was not Charlie typing that in. Okay, because I thought it was weird since he didn't say he had a mortgage payment. Okay, so those are actually words on the form, not typed or written in. by him. So sorry about that. Okay, so net worth, total assets, $3,345,500. Total net worth is the same. Okay. So looks like his, okay, so he emailed that to her attorney, who is Caitlin Bronstein in Fort Lauderdale. And this was signed on March 5th, 2021. Okay, so let's see. Oops. Okay. All right. So finally, they did reach a settlement back on March 8th, or that's when the judge signed it. It says final judgment of paternity. It says they have jurisdiction over the matter, that they live in Florida. Okay, so this part I feel okay showing that. Okay, so it says here, yes, he is the baby daddy. Okay, well, it doesn't say that literally. Okay, and there's one minor child. Father shall pay $1,500 for child support for the minor child on the first of every month until the child turns 18 years of age or when the child graduates from high school, if graduation is anticipated to occur on or before the child's 19th birthday, and the child is performing in good faith with a reasonable expectation of graduation, whichever occurs last. The parties agreed that time sharing with the minor child should occur pursuant to the schedule detailed in the paternity settlement agreement and its incorporated parenting plan. It's hereby ordered and adjudged as follows. Paternity has been established for the father pursuant to agreed order ratifying paternity dated May 9th, 2020, attached hereto as Exhibit A. The parties' paternity settlement agreement dated February 10th, 2021, and its incorporated parenting plan attached hereto as Exhibit B is hereby ratified and made a part of this final judgment, and the parties are ordered to obey all of its provisions. Father shall pay $1,500 for child support for a minor child. Okay, so we already read that earlier on the previous page. They'll adhere to the time-sharing schedule identified in the paternity settlement agreement and its incorporated parenting plan. All right, so that was signed off by Judge Honorable Linda A. Alley. Okay, so here we go. And again, I really do appreciate you guys who have been really following the case and commenting and joining in all the live streams and stuff and providing really helpful information too. So like I said, it was a subscriber who just out of the blue emailed me these documents. So I didn't have to go through the hassle of trying to request them directly myself from the court. Okay, so let's see. Oh, Raul, thank you for being here. Yeah, I guess he could claim that it's furnishings, but if he actually had cash on hand, which I'm sure he did, he should have disclosed that in the form. So he didn't disclose that. And yeah, I guess you could consider a safe a furnishing though. So yeah, hi Angela. Yeah, hi Pancakes. Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, no go-karts. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just looking at that, it's like, wait, didn't he own a boat or maybe even multiple definitely, multiple cars, right? Unless he got rid of them by the time he did that form, because the form was signed back in March of 2021. So did he already get rid of all his other belongings? I don't know. Katie's kids had no blood except blood on Katie's hands for the killing of Dan. Donna made sure that Katie could qualify for state assistant insurance. What a kick in the A. The state had to cover her insurance. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Of course, he's not going to divulge, however, who knows, thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars he also has somewhere else. Yeah. Let me think. What else? Okay, so many comments here. Okay, so sorry if I can't get to everyone. How can Chuck file head of the household? Yeah, exactly. And then he said that he was claiming one dependent. Well, since he has no other kids, was he claiming his child that he wasn't even paying for? Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Debt-Free Dad. I'm sure he probably have some insightful comments as an attorney also who investigates fraud. Yeah. Hi, Lily. Thank you for being here. Charlie is the type, yep, to not pay child support, but take the child credit on his tax return. Yeah, there should have been an issue with the IRS with that if both the parents claimed the child that year. Yeah, so the child is enrolled at a prestigious school. Definitely she needs money. Yeah, well, Montessori schools aren't necessarily like really expensive. I mean, as far as I know, based on where I am, but yeah, that's just pretty mean. Like, how is she supposed to work if she can't pay for childcare also, you know? So, of course, it didn't really make sense for her to work some sort of low-paying job or be a nanny when she has to pay to put her own kid in some daycare. She purposely had the child because the father is rich. She, well, who knows? Who knows? But definitely by 2017, Charlie had already been in the news extensively, being a suspect in planning the murder of Dan. So, so I don't know what that baby mama was thinking when she was dating him, and ended up getting pregnant with him. Lump sum payments, I would imagine, would be possible where the payment is earmarked for a specific purpose. For example, a car. Okay, sure. How old is the baby? So he was born in December of 2017. So he's a little over 4.5 now. Yeah. Donna is stuck up type. She might not like Bree and her pain. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, where is the overly involved grandmother? I mean, she sure really wanted to take care of Dan and Wendy's kids all the time and was constantly, visiting back when Dan was alive, helped take care of the babies after they were born. And then, she so desperately wanted her grandkids to be with her down near Miami. So whatever happened between Donna and this baby mama, yeah, that I do not know. Yeah, but I could see that, perhaps Donna was probably disgusted or didn't think that, this woman was good enough for Charlie, her precious little boy. Yeah. I'm no child maintenance expert, but would think payments are made on earnings. That is everything that is taxable to include savings in a deposit account. Yeah, since I don't practice in Florida, I can't remark about how they do things there, but at least here in North Carolina, it's based on the party's income. But you can also ask the court to deviate from the child support guidelines also in kind of unusual cases where the person might not be working up to his potential, but has tons and tons of assets and money saved up. So it is possible to take it outside the guidelines if there is a unusual situation like that, or if somebody's deliberately trying to suppress their income, for example. Yeah. But let me take a look at some other comments. Okay, maybe Donna can babysit. Yeah, you would think that, yeah, did Donna even want to have a relationship with this baby mama and the new grandchild? Did she try to help out, or did they have a bad relationship? I mean, clearly, Bree and Charlie had a bad relationship, because if you heard what June was telling investigators back in July of 2018, she said that Charlie was calling her up and complaining about the baby mama and saying he was miserable. It was awful. They were always fighting. She would be yelling at him, and he really wanted to leave the baby mama, but he knew he wouldn't be able to get custody of his child otherwise. So, yeah, a lot of drama going on there. Yeah, really sad situation. Yeah. Did the Adelsons provide her use Lexa? Well, I don't think so. I don't think this poor lady Bree got many favors from the Adelsons. Yeah, if she had to fight him, and then, I mean, I feel like that $1,500 a month child support is still really low. That doesn't seem right at all. But of course, he was claiming that his income diminished to the point where, he was only making whatever, like 110,000 a year or something because of his back problems. Yeah. Hire her to be the nanny for Donna's 2 kids, Garcia's 2, Rivera 5. Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of kids' lives have been affected, definitely. Hi, Sophia. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, yeah. Oh, Fancy Fiction is here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you also, Lori. Thanks for being here. Oh, wasn't Wendy making out with Dave outside her children's school? Yeah, I heard that on that FBI video recording. Yeah, fancy you had a surveillance video and the surveyors the investigators mentioned that they would probably be getting ready to watch another big makeout session between Wendy and her then boyfriend. Yeah. Can Bree and the baby file for Medicaid or government assistance for low income? I think she Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, I don't know what all the rules are or whatever, but, but baby daddy had plenty of money, so why should they be on the government dole, right? The baby daddy should be paying for it. Yeah. What kind of person Wendy's boyfriend Dave must be to hand his nanny over to Charlie this way? Bree probably trusted her. Oh, yeah, yeah. Although I don't know. I mean, can we really blame Dave? I mean, he just happens to be her employer. So these are adults, even though Bree is a lot younger than Charlie. I think she's about 30 years old now. Um, she was still an adult in her late 20s when this happened. So, um, yeah, I guess Charlie was just so alluring, and maybe she hadn't been reading any of the news about the case. So, yeah. Oh, okay. So, yeah, great to have True Lifestyles here for a bit. I had a hunch Charlie's irresponsibility would continue. He's pathetic, and I bet Donna and Harvey pretend the child doesn't exist. Hmm. Yeah, that would be really sad if they live so close to each other and the grandparents aren't having a relationship with this child. Yeah, but I did see a couple of pictures of the kid, and the kid looks a lot like Charlie, actually. Yeah. McBanua had special treatment from Donna because she did special jobs for them too. Yeah, that's right. Otherwise, you would think Donna would think that Katie was not good enough for her son. No way. She wouldn't be happy if Charlie wanted a real serious relationship with someone like Katie. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going in reverse chronological order here. Okay, so Ron said something about child support may well be academic in this case, as Charlie will be in the big house for life unless it is possible to get a significant lump sum before he is convicted. Yeah, who knows? I mean, because clearly they ended up settling on their own terms without having a judge make a decision. So Bree and her attorney could still make some sort of lump sum settlement with Charlie too, if they don't want to deal with the uncertainty of monthly payments. And another thing that one of the commenters who is very into this case, she had mentioned that it looked like Bree was living in a home that was either owned by Charlie or in the name of the family trust or something. So it could be that she and her attorney negotiated so that Charlie bought her a place to live. Maybe, I'm just guessing. Maybe there were some other deals going back and forth besides or in addition to the $1,500 a month child support payment, because that just seems way too low for someone that had so much money and used to make at least, 900,000 to over $1 million a year. Yeah. And that's just on paper, on the books, right? So poor Bree, she became pregnant at the wrong time when Charlie was trying to sue for disability. Yeah, he needs to show that he doesn't have any money. Yeah, exactly. So I did wonder if maybe he was also trying to deliberately decrease his income because there was a child support case going on. So that definitely happens sometimes. Yeah. Okay, how does child support work with savings, investments, but no earned income, or when assets are in a trust? Well, I mean, this is definitely information that they can still bring in front of a judge too, so that there can be income imputed to the person and the judge can come up with the figure. So just going on, how things are handled where I practice in North Carolina. Okay, yeah, so there are just so many comments. I'm not sure if I can address everybody. Yeah, Wendy said on her interrogation and on the stand that she's very close with Charlie. Who can feel close to a person like this? Another scumbag. Yeah, I mean, he just seems so despicable in every way. So, I mean, are those the same kind of values that Wendy has? I don't know. So, Donna Hart, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just crazy, reading these legal pleadings. I mean, granted, we don't know if this baby mama is telling the full truth, but it sounds credible to me. But it sounds really sad that she thought she had a child with this very rich guy from a very rich family, but, then she's struggling and she needs to file a case just to get a little bit of money and support, and she had no job at the time. So it's just really kind of a bad situation. But of course, she kind of got herself into that situation too, right? Yeah, he's a walking contradiction. Um, it's ironic to hear the disdain that Charlie had for single moms, only to have his son be raised by a single mom. Yeah, I mean, it kind of sounds like the baby mama's mom is also now living in Florida to help out. Yeah, I don't know if she's living with them or not. Yeah. Um, yeah, their obsession with Wendy's children. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I really have to thank Dawn, who is one of the frequent commenters on this channel, who created that logo. I guess I'm pointing in the wrong direction. The logo up here is thanks to Dawn DeQuisto. I hope I pronounced her name right. And she just out of the blue created it for me and sent it to me by email. So thank you so much, Dawn. Yeah. Okay, so that's new. No, the baby mama is not Asian. I mean, she seems to be just like a regular old white woman. So, yeah, I don't think she's Jewish. Yeah. So, she is pretty. She's thin and pretty and has brown hair from what little I've seen. Yeah. So, isn't that a surprise? No, the baby mama is not Asian. Yeah. How much does a nanny make normally? Of course, we're not talking about the royals. Yeah. Well, I mean, just from what I've heard, it really depends because there are some well-educated women that make good money working as professional nannies for really mega rich families. So they could be making probably over 75, 80,000. I mean, it depends if the person lives with them full time and how many kids there are and all that and how rich the family is. So, I mean, yeah, it seems like that guy Dave was pretty well off. So, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it totally depends because if she had to live with them in the house, then she would probably get paid at least, I would say at least 40,000 or more than 50,000 a year. Just guessing. I mean, because it was mentioned that that person, Dave, had 3 children, but I don't know if all of them were living in the house with him all the time or how old they were or whatever. So, yeah, usually when you think of nannies, you do think of like younger women that are probably in their 20s or even from other countries that just want to sort of have an adventure and come over from other countries. So, I mean, I would kind of expect they probably don't get paid very well in general. I mean, it could be as low as like 20 something thousand a year, less than 30 because they're having their housing and food provided for. So really, really depends on what kind of job you can get and who the employers are. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm jumping around with the comments here. Saddest thing is that's this little guy who has a father who is no father. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Well, True Lifestyles did find in her jail sleuthing that there were some phone calls made between Charlie and Bree. So, maybe they've patched things up a little bit to the point where at least he gets to talk to his kids sometimes. Yeah, but I guess that could be kind of awkward once the child starts asking questions like, where is dad? How come not seeing him anymore? You know, because she probably didn't tell him that dad is locked up in jail right now because he might have helped plan somebody's murder, right? So, let's see. Okay, in the bump recordings in which Charlie and Katie were talking about which of Charlie's exes the extortionists were referring to and whether or not it was Katie McBenoy, he mentioned his baby's mama's done. Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. Okay, so maybe they had been, just like dating off and on for a while. Yeah. So much for June having any sort of exclusive relationship with him, right? Yeah. Um, okay. Yeah. So I think I'll scroll up a little bit, but today is a work day, so I'll probably have to get going soon. Um, how has Adelson's lawyers been handling a case? What would a lawyer on his side do? Well, try to find if there's any plausible excuse, like how are you going to defend this guy given the evidence? So this is a different lawyer. He had to switch, or he switched lawyers, I think this year. So this new guy, actually, it's 2 attorneys. they need to quickly get up to speed on the case and figure out, can they even make a deal, or what kind of defense could they possibly come up with that might seem credible? Yeah. So, yeah, True Lifestyles just had a video about that recently. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I was surprised that it was so little. Yeah. Okay, so yes, it did get settled, based on the last document we looked over. They settled it in March of 2021, where he would just have to pay the $1,500 a month. Yeah, so seems very low. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will go up towards the top because I don't think I addressed any of the comments at the beginning. Sorry about that again. There's just so many people tuning in nowadays. It's actually nice to know that people care about this case. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Lincoln and Ben are actually the names of Dan and Wendy's children. Yeah. So that's already been out there many, many times in the public. So, let's see. Okay, Catherine is at the Women's Reception Center in Ocala, Florida. Yeah, I heard about that. So I wonder if she's going to be transferred someplace else soon. Yeah, so now she is torn away from her girlfriend, Trinity. Yeah, she didn't die. So, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, so someone answered that already, but the baby mama is not Asian. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Okay, thank you, Fancy, for that information. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, people have remarked about that, but I think that's just some sort of, like, antiquated old way that the prison system classifies people. So it's not that she herself decided she was white, but the system decided that she fit the white box better. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, very strange. Yeah. Um, was this the girl he was in the phone with planning a child? That's what I'm not sure. Yeah, because there was a phone call in Fancy Fiction where Charlie was just, like, flirting with this woman and telling her that she should go riding in his go-kart with him and sit in his lap and, um, making fun of June with her, and then later asking this woman, the anonymous woman on the phone, "Are you on birth control?" You know? Yeah. So, I don't know if that's Bree or not. Yeah. Um, okay. Oh, okay, so Richard is saying it was another woman friend of Charlie. Yeah, he sure had plenty of women friends. Yeah. Wonder if Donna has play dates with all 3 boys. Yeah, that's what I'm not sure. Yeah, but it didn't sound good though because, this poor woman made it sound like she had no income and no money at the time that she needed to get child support. So where are the grandparents? Why didn't they show up with a bunch of clothes and some money for groceries and stuff? So she should have called Katie. Katie got a hold of Charlie in seconds. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Fancy said that was a different girl on the recording. Okay, thank you, Fancy. Fancy knows everything about the case. So, yeah, you got to do your own live stream show now, right? Okay. So, okay, thank you, Susan. Interesting read this afternoon. Thank you, Judy, for taking your time to do all of this. It is appreciated. Sure, no problem. I mean, it's something that I'm interested in myself, so I'm happy to do this along with everybody else that's interested. Yeah, so heartbreaking. Yeah. All the innocent children caught up in this murder. Dan 2, Meg Benua and Garcia 2, Charlie 1, Rivera 5. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And not to mention Dan and Wendy's children. Yeah. Brianna is smart to keep her child far away from Donna. Yeah. Like to hear, oh, I'm sure Bree has, I mean, I'm sure, or I sure hope Bree has given an earful to those investigators and the prosecution about what she knows about Charlie and his habits or, anything. I mean, she certainly saw his true colors pretty quickly. So hopefully they're not really on good terms, even though there are some phone calls between them while he's in jail. Yeah. Charlie is such a scumbag in every way imaginable. Yeah, I mean, it's like the more I read. Oh, so I'm sure you guys saw what Fancy Fiction put out just yesterday, where you can actually read the police notes where they talked with the so-called Steve and Clark, people who were friends with Charlie and Charlie's dad, and it's just really appalling to read that allegedly Charlie had tried to accuse his father's old friend of sexual harassment when the friend was getting on his case about him not doing his classwork in dental school, and then later Harvey blew up at the friend who had known him for 30 odd years, had known him for a very long time, and they always had good relations. But after that so-called incident where Charlie accused him of sexually harassing him, then Harvey blew up and got in the friend's face and was totally threatening him. So, okay. Yeah, just very bizarre people. Something's totally wrong with them, and that's exactly what Jeffrey Lacoste said, that the whole family is really, really weird, and their whole hobby was hating on Danny. Yeah, it seems like Charlie Adelson is sexually desperate. Anyone in this airspace has sexual. Yeah, but does that mean he's desperate, or is he also so charming and alluring, and somehow all these women just keep falling in his lap, right? As one of my friends used to say, money is like makeup for men. So I think Donna needs to put Brianna's boy on the Adelson medical and dental insurance. Yeah, exactly. Except the practice already closed down. So, okay. So let me scroll down and see any other comments here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we discussed that. Yeah, just really sad for the poor little kid. Yeah, thank you, Carol, for being here. Oh, okay. Shouldn't Fancy Fiction be working on new videos? Yeah, we definitely, everybody looks forward to seeing her videos. So if you're not subscribed to that YouTube channel, Fancy Fiction, please do. A lot of wiretap phone calls between Charlie Adelson or Katie and Donna and other people. Yeah. $1,500 a month until the child is 18 to 19. How about when cost of living increases? Yeah, I mean, normally with child support, it can still be modified by the court anyway. So, I'm not sure again what the laws are like in Florida, but in North Carolina, you can still potentially, depending on certain factors, you can still ask that the court modify your child support. But here they reached a settlement. So I guess for some reason, Bree thought that $1,500 a month was good enough. And that's why I was guessing that maybe Charlie had also given her a place to live, or her and her kid a place to live, perhaps. Yeah. Fancy Fiction is the shadizzle. Yes. Okay. The only thing I think Charlie has going for him, the bump recordings, is that he never really seems to acknowledge that it was Luis Rivera or Tato who was demanding money and to be taking him. Yeah, just kind of playing clueless and acting like I don't know who this 2-0 person is or whatever. But maybe he didn't know he didn't know Luis or Sigfredo's nicknames, and Katie didn't join in and explain it to him either. So Katie kind of played dumb and was dishonest with him also. Yeah. But he did. The thing that really stood out to me, in addition to a bunch of other stuff, was when he said at Dolce Vita, he said, "Why didn't they know it was me?" Like, how come the FBI agent didn't immediately say something about Charlie, or didn't go directly to Charlie as opposed to Donna? So that sounded pretty guilty to me. Yeah, it's odd that Brianna wasn't in the witness list, though. I looked at it. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they could still add her to the witness list, right? Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Charlie boy must have charmed Brie. I think Charlie just wanted to use her for sex, and then the baby have. Yeah, but even in that recording that Fancy Fiction had, it seemed like he was still kind of narcissistically looking for women to have his children with, because even June said that he wanted her to have a baby with him, but she didn't want to if they weren't even engaged or married. So, yeah, he was just looking for some women to use to have children with, and then they would be the ones saddled with the kid and take care of the kid while he continued running around, screwing anything that moved, right? So, Charlie boy must have charmed. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, has Wendy's Dave ever been interviewed or testimonied, as June says? Yeah, that I don't know, but I would sure hope so. He probably has a lot of good information about them too. The reason Donna liked McBanua because she is just as evil as the Adelsons. Yeah, but I wonder if Donna really even had any sort of relationship or communications with Katie, though. Were there any phone calls between Katie and Donna? Yeah, that's what I'm not sure because, yeah, even though Donna wrote out the checks that were given to Katie, like it could have been given to Katie through Charlie or something. So I'm not really sure how well, if at all, Donna might have known Katie. I feel bad for all these kids. They need counseling when they're, yeah. I don't even know if counseling can really help them get over all this craziness. Yeah, sure. Thank you. 5 says, thanks for everything. Oh, great. Truth Lifestyles, you're back. Okay. Thank you so much for being here also and everything you do. I have my own theory of what's going on with the team. Okay. Well, do you want to share it? Like what's going on with the team? Okay. Well, I'm sure they're all like needing medication or anti-anxiety medication now to be able to cope with life as it is right now. They know that everybody suspects them. So, yeah, sure. You're welcome, Tony. Thank you. Yeah, so we want to know Jason W.'s theory. So don't leave us hanging. So what's your theory of the case? Where's the video about Charlie making accusation of? Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's on Fancy Fiction's YouTube channel. And she just put it up yesterday. I don't know if it was in the afternoon or something, but oh, actually, I don't think it was a video, right? Wasn't it a comment or one of those community posts on her channel? So if you go to Fancy Fiction and then you look under community, under the tab of the channel page, then I'm pretty sure that's the latest post where she has an image of the statement typed up by the Tallahassee police. And that is where you can read all these like really appalling, troubling allegations made against Charlie and his father by people who used to be friends with them. So the first guy, they gave his name as Steve. I'm sure that's not his real name, but the Steve guy said he was business partners with Charlie when they used to own a deli, I guess, together. And let me go ahead and share that if I can, because I think this is just like such an important piece of information here, especially if you never heard of it before. So things went sour between Charlie and his business partner / friend Steve. That seems to be a running theme in Charlie's life, where he pisses people off and then everybody turns against him once they find out what he's really like. Okay, so Fancy Fiction, I hope that's okay to market your channel here. Okay, so you go to that YouTube channel and you click on the community tab, and that's the first thing that pops up. Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you for being here, Avali. Let me try to scroll down. Yeah, I don't think I can enlarge it on my screen here. But it says, I later spoke to a Steve who called the tip line with information relevant to this investigation. Steve provided background information on Charlie Adelson, Wendy's brother. According to, quote, Steve, Charlie is very manipulative, conniving, and capable of murder or murder for hire. Charlie has made a life of, quote, getting even with people, but in very stealthy manners that leaves little trace back to him. Steve later provided information that Charlie paid 2 Fort Lauderdale police officers to fake evict someone from their own business. Charlie also owns guns, to include a short black revolver. Steve has seen Charlie. Okay, sorry, something's up with this scrolling thing. Okay, well, basically it says he explained that Charlie had bought into Steve's business, a deli restaurant, and they were business partners. At one point, the idea for a second restaurant came about and they opened it up. At some point after this, Charlie came to Steve and asked him to sign some paperwork. Steve agreed, but stated after he read it first. Charlie became defensive about this and argued with Steve about trust. Sounds like the way he acted with June when June was calling him out on cheating on her. Okay, so getting back to this. It says Steve never signed the paperwork and later that day was visited at his home by 2 Fort Lauderdale police officers who basically gave him a fake eviction from his own business and trespass warning. Steve was able to figure out the ruse and get the names of the police officers, but he was not willing to take it up with the Fort Lauderdale Police Department or any other authority. Steve was not willing to provide those names to me either. Later, I spoke to Clark, who explained he is the father of Steve. Clark provided additional information on the Adelson family. He stated that he and Harvey Adelson were the best of friends. Both were periodontists in the South Florida area. Clark also helped start up the dental school at Nova Southeastern. As a favor for Harvey, Clark was able to get Charlie in the school, even at the disagreement with other faculty members. As Charlie progressed in school, he was failing and not doing his required work in the classes. When Clark brought this up to Charlie, Charlie got defensive and then accused Clark of sexually harassing him while at school. Clark was able to disprove the allegations, but this severed the friendship between him and Harvey. Clark explained that Harvey was somehow able to use his influence on the Nova board to include a local judge in Broward County to get Charlie passed through with a degree. Clark explained that Charlie did not meet 25% of his requirements to earn his degree, and amongst the allegations, he was somehow just given a degree and has been practicing periodontics with his father ever since. Clark explained that Charlie is manipulative and a pathological liar. Clark explained that this all occurred around 2006, and that in 2008, he and Harvey had a chance encounter while on vacation. He stated that once Harvey saw him, he immediately approached him, got within inches of his face, and were nearly touching. Clark stated that Harvey wanted to fight him right there on the vacation, but Clark was able to walk away from the encounter. But before Harvey made a statement to the effect of, quote, "No one ever messes with my children," unquote. Clark stated that he'd known Harvey for over 30 years and grew up with them going on vacations, parties, business ventures, and he was very friendly and thoughtful. But he saw nothing but hate and was prepared to do violence despite their history on the word of his son. Clark also stated that he was aware that Charlie kept cash in shoeboxes in his house and that he makes, quote, "shady," unquote, deals with dentists in his area and pockets the money so he doesn't have to report it to the IRS. Okay, very interesting there. So, okay, so you guys can check it out on Fancy Fiction's YouTube channel. Okay. Okay, just getting back here to the comments. Okay, Kathleen says Donna's checks were hidden under payroll. Her snobbery was hidden under entitlement. Yeah. If Charlie still claims innocence to the current charges, but claims steroidal usage caused strange behavior on those surveillance tapes, will the prosecution need to include lesser? I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I've seen your comments about, Charlie possibly claiming he was like under the influence of drugs or steroids or something, but that's no excuse, and I think that's very, very far-fetched. Yeah, I mean, what proof would he have that back then in 2014 or 2013 when he was plotting Dan's murder that he was so badly under the influence of some drugs or mental illness? Yeah. So, but then again, let me flash that up on the screen. Let's keep thinking, okay, well, we just don't know what will really happen, because if there is a jury trial, there have definitely been lots of cases that we can think of nationally where a lot of people felt the jury totally got it wrong and let people go. So there was this case in Durham, North Carolina, just probably about 5 to 10 years ago, where there was this man who killed his children. So I think he killed at least one child, maybe 2 of his kids, and his defense was that he was sleepwalking. So what was going on was that this man and his wife were married and underneath a lot of great stress because the guy could never keep a job, and they were having a lot of financial problems, and they had at least 3 or 4 children that were all pretty little. I think, like maybe under the age of 10 or something. So they're all really, really stressed out. And then one night, the father ended up killing one of the kids in his sleep, and then while the kid was sleeping, and then was about ready to kill another kid when he was discovered by the rest of the family. So his whole defense was that they had a sleep specialist, some sort of like specialist in sleepwalking or sleep disorders or something, and said that he was so stressed out during that time that he didn't know what he was doing, and it is possible to do these things while you're sleepwalking or whatever. And the jury let him off. So after the whole case is over, like I think even the guy himself was so stunned, he had to be told, "Oh, you're free. You can go now." And I think even his attorney was just shocked beyond disbelief or whatever the term is. Yeah. So, I mean, clearly his wife wanted nothing to do with him, and she and her kids did not want to be anywhere near this guy anymore. The marriage was over, but he was totally let free after murdering his own child, and in the process of probably murdering the second child. So just because of that, like, sleepwalking defense, the jury bought it. So anyway, so William's comments about, Charlie possibly claiming that he was mentally ill or under drugs, it sounds really stupid to us, but you just never know what could potentially happen in any sort of criminal case. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Thank you for being here from South Africa and also from Montreal. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. You wanted to read. Okay. I'm sorry. Were you talking about the fancy fiction thing? Yeah. So that you can definitely find it at Fancy Fiction's channel under her community tab. It's her latest post. So, is there a statute of limitations for a civil lawsuit? Yeah. So that's what I'm not sure, because I don't practice in Florida. So I'm sorry, I can't really answer that. Yeah. Um, so much to type. Okay. Basic rule of games is you never speak. The rest is obvious. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your insight. The Adelsons, McBenua, and others involved know that being on the outside or within jail and or prison is just a, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what some other commenter recently said also. Let's see. Judy, have you seen Joseph's Facebook post? What do you think the state can? Well, I mean, it depends on how credible he seems. I mean, he sounded pretty credible compared to that other person whose weird idea you posted on your community tab recently. Yeah. So so this guy Joseph posted on the Justice for Dan Facebook page back in October of 2019, just basically saying that he was actually approached by a mutual friend on behalf of Charlie. They wanted to know if he would be willing to kill Dan Markel for $15,000. And this guy, Joseph, said he was like so disgusted and offended, and he thought maybe they had targeted him because he's Italian or Italian American. And they thought that, Italians are a bunch of gangsters, who would do these types of things. So he was offended. But he also said that he heard lots of talk, or he knew a lot of information about all those like plots to try to find someone to kill Dan Markel. So so apparently this person has already been in touch with investigators, but he sounds credible. Yeah, but that wacky idea that the other person posted that, oh, it was because Dan was going to report a bunch of judges and attorneys to the state bar for doing cocaine at a party, back in 2009 or 2010. I mean, that just seems really wacky and far-fetched. Yeah. So I'm sure law enforcement has heard all sorts of like crazy stories from people that might have some maybe mental problems or something, and there are some things that they might still have to investigate because it could be a possible reason for Dan's murder, maybe. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Angela. I appreciate your support. Okay, I seriously doubt that is going to fly, seeing as he was operating as normal in all other aspects of his life. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was so successful. He was making over $1 million a year. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, smile is huge right now. Yeah. Oh, sure. Thank you, Kathleen. She says, thanks again, Judy. Who is Joseph? How do we find his Facebook posts? Now I'm not even sure how I found it, but I posted the link as a comment to True Lifestyle's latest post. So if you go to True Lifestyle's YouTube channel, you click on community and you can see the post. Yeah, but it's under the Justice for Dan Facebook page. But I know there are tons and tons of postings there, so you'd have to really scroll around to find Joseph's posts. Okay, Charlie has so many enemies that depositions will, it could be, yeah, we'll see, because they do have another case management or status conference coming up. Is it at the beginning of December? No, I can't remember the date, but I'm sure somebody here knows the date. Yeah, but the Arthur hearing to see if he can get released pending trial is going to be on September 9th. Charlie could be very dangerous with a dental drill if he was annoyed at person. This was a scene in a movie. He definitely has sociopathic tendencies. Wonder how he is young. Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I can see him intimidating a lot of people, doing all sorts of like sleazy, underhanded things in any which way, thinking he could get away with it. So hope all these other cases will be discussed at Charlie the Golden Boy. Yeah, that's why Kappelman said they would probably need 3 weeks for the trial, if there is a trial. As I said, total entitlement. Yes. Okay. Now you're rethinking implants. What kind of implants? Like dental implants? Okay. Well, I'm sure he is not representative of all periodontists. Charlie is a scarier dentist than the Nazi dentist that Laurence Olivier played in. Okay, yeah, I never saw that, but definitely he is a very unusual person. Okay. Okay. Mentor Laura has stated that in Florida, alcohol or drugs cannot be used as a mitigating factor during the trial. It can be used during the penalty phase. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for that information. Yep, exactly. Otherwise, everybody would have an excuse. I was drunk. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. Okay. Are mom and dad visiting Charlie in Cleveland? Okay. Well, first he's in a regular county jail in Leon County, and I think True Lifestyle said that there was evidence that Charlie had been having phone calls with his father. So, and no visitors as of last month. Yeah. Although that could just be a regular jail policy now, not allowing visitors. Under influence of 19-year-old. Yeah, that's funny. Let this be a lesson to the women that are just looking for a rich, good-looking guy. That does not mean anything. Yes, very true. Very true. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you for liking the pink shirt. Okay. Okay, I don't think he's good looking. Has that psycho look to me. Look at his eyes. Yeah. Yeah, especially in the mug shots, right? He's like getting the face he deserves. So what is Bree's ethnicity? Yeah, I think she's just like a regular old white person. So I don't know how to say it, European ancestry. Yes. Okay, Charlie is missing his dope in prison. Yeah, I'm sure he's missing a lot of things in prison. So, okay, well, it's already over an hour and I do have to get back to work to my clients and everything. So, really appreciate your support of this channel, everybody tuning in and offering a lot of really helpful information. And again, shout out to the subscriber who actually emailed me this paternity and child support case document. So, that really was helpful and very interesting to read. So, let's see. I'm probably going to do a short video, not a live stream, regarding Steve Epstein's other book, which I thought I had here, but maybe I left it in a different room. Yeah, but anyway, the author / lawyer Steve Epstein is writing the book about the Markel case, and that's expected now to be published in October. So he's going to be a guest on a future live stream, not this Friday, but the following Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But he's also the author of another really great book that I just got called Evil at Lake Seminole, and that's about the Mike Williams murder, which also happened in Tallahassee, and it was an unsolved murder for 17 years before finally there was a break in the case, because Mike's wife and his so-called best friend had gotten together after Mike conveniently died on a boating trip. So I just thought it would be good to make a video focusing on that case, because Steve talked about it during a live stream that was really, really long back in January, I think, and very few people watched it. So since Steve is going to be a guest coming up in a week and a half, I would like to draw attention to his other book too, in addition to the Markel book. So Let me see if there's any other quick comments here. Okay. Okay, so somebody is a witness in Charlie's file. Okay, so maybe you're talking about the Joseph person? Okay, well, yeah, there were just so many people involved in this because it seems like there were a lot of enemies made along the way with Charlie's bad acts. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys all being here and tuning in and stuff. So, hopefully, we will have the interview with Ruth Markel, Dan Markel's mother, that will probably be out on my channel either Friday night or sometime Saturday. And that's not going to be a live stream. And then we're also going to have another live stream featuring Tony Lombardo, who was a guest on a previous live stream. And we're going to be talking about the Murdaugh case in South Carolina, which has to do with a very crooked former lawyer who is now in prison. So let's see. Wendy said on Stan, Charlie didn't take drugs back then, only since the media got hold of their evil. Did Charlie need drugs? Oh, okay. Yeah, that just sounds like total BS to me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sophia. Yeah. Thank you for your support also. Oh, great, great. Okay, yeah, I'll buy Steve Epstein's book. That Mike Williams's case is just as interesting as this one and spanned many years. Yeah, totally. There's just so much to talk about. And again, that's why my live streams just keep going on for so much. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff out there and a lot of very interesting people to interview too. So thank you, True Lifestyles. Also, hope you guys have a great day and hope to see you guys Friday night for the live stream with Tony.